Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win. If you find a way to lose, please consider subscribing to the channel. Now listen, I was shocked to find out Canelo signed with PBC, 3-fight deal. Not sure of who the other two opponents are going to be. We know that he's going to be fighting Jermall Charlo in September. And the other opponent reportedly is going to be Errol Spence, probably around the third fight. But bottom line, Jermall Charlo needs Jesus in order to defeat Canelo. And this is just my opinion. And I think very highly of Jermall Charlo. I just think with Canelo Alvarez, this is a case of what I would consider a cherry pick. Now, that being said, you got to be careful that I don't take it to the stupid, because Jermall Charlo was actually the one of the two who made it to that final list of opponents for Canelo when Canelo finally decided last minute, instead of fighting Jermall Charlo, he would fight Bivol. So Canelo is going to fight Jermall instead of Bivol, but he chose to pursue greatness at 175. But the bottom line is now, excuse me, right, I got a little bit of a cold, is Canelo Alvarez is going to face Jermall Charlo in the first of a 3-fight deal that he signed with PBC, and the fight is scheduled for September 16th, which is Mexican Independence Day weekend. Now, I'm not sure where the fight's going to take place, but it's supposed to be on pay-per-view, of course, Showtime pay-per-view. Now, Charlo, right, 32 wins, 22 KOs. Charlo is a bad boy. Got to give him credit. I'm not taking anything away from Charlo. Before his inactivity, I would have put Charlo, I would have favored Charlo over everybody, okay? But look, man, he hasn't fought since, what was that guy's name he fought? Like in 2021? Montiel, right? Montiel. But he's going to move up in weight from 160 to 168 and get a challenge for the undisputed distinction. How lovely would that be for Jermall to become undisputed and for his brother Jermall to be undisputed? And both of these boys, twins, young guys from Houston, man, who you probably would have never expected to go as far as they've both gone, and how far Jermall can go if he beats Canelo Alvarez. What this is going to do for both twins' profiles. But bottom line is, Alvarez, 59 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws, 39 KOs. He defended his titles with a decision win over John Ryder in Guadalajara, Mexico. We all saw that fight. Canelo did break his nose. But Canelo looked like he was just a step behind, and from the normal Canelo performances that we've grown accustomed to seeing. But I'm going to tell you this. For some reason, Canelo is still trying to pursue Bivol, but it just didn't work out, okay? But the boxing fans don't want to see Canelo fight Bivol. I think they're settling for Charlo, but everybody wants to see him fight David Benavidez. And at this point in time, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know why he just doesn't fight Benavidez. I just don't get it. But that's my question. But I guess the other question is, how does Canelo beat Charlo? And I'm telling you, the inactivity of Charlo, I think he's going to have a tough time getting in there with Canelo. Although Canelo slowed a bit, I just think when you have someone like Canelo who's fought 7 times since Charlo's last fight, I just think that matters. And Canelo's not in there fighting bombs, you know what I'm saying? The activity, but also with the activity comes wear and tear. So it just depends on the lens that you're seeing this potential fight through. You're probably gonna have varying opinions. But I'm gonna tell you this right now, man. With such a long layoff, you know, some people are concerned about Charlo's chances of beating Canelo, but some people feel the layoff did his body good and he's gonna be too much for Canelo. So there you go. You're always gonna have different opinions because it's so subjective. But the bottom line is, you know, what's gonna be next for whoever wins this fight? Benavidez, Errol Spence? You know, nobody knows. But I'm telling you right now, I'm not sure what's the best option for Canelo. I'll tell you what. This would be the second fight for Alvarez this year, which is huge. And we know, like I said before, I believe it was 2 years ago. Yeah, it was 2 years ago where, damn, time flies, man, where Canelo fought Bivol and Jermall was supposed to be the opponent instead of Bivol. But long story short, we know what happened in that fight. And we're going to have to see what's going on with Charlo, the personal issues. This may be the optimal time for Canelo to get Charlo in the ring. He figured with Canelo going to distance with Ryder in May, some people, especially Ryder, said that Canelo is past his best days. This is why the Charlo-Canelo fight is so intriguing. But you still think Charlo going to need a little bit of Jesus in order to defeat Canelo. Just understanding that a fighter who's been so active, and like Canelo, who brings so much to the table, even though Charlo's undefeated, let's understand that inactivity, those barnacles that cling to a fighter, that can bog you down, and that can show up in the ring. You don't want to get a tune-up fight against Canelo. Like, that's just not what you want. But bottom line, as far as the fight selling, because I hear some people saying this is a waste of time, this is a cherry pick by Canelo. Why is he fighting Jermall? Let me tell you something. Charlo and those Charlo brothers are probably some of the most outspoken fighters that you'll ever come across, and I think they're going to help with both of them and how outspoken they are. That's going to definitely help to sell the event, and I think Canelo realizes that too, and they're going to try to spin it as Jermall as the villain. And we know that's going to make for fireworks because Canelo not going to tolerate any bullcrap. You already know that. You bring the fire out of Canelo, like Billy Joe Saunders did, like Caleb Plant did. You F around, you're going to find out. And we're going to see if the Charlo boys are all bark and no bite. Because we know Canelo's he's not bark, but he's all bite. And I think that's what makes him such an attractive opponent for Alvarez, especially to kick off that 3-fight deal. But bottom line, it's no surprise, like I said, Alvarez being recognized as a solid favorite against Jermall. He's more accomplished, more active, and I think those are the leading factors why people have him as a favorite. But I'm going to tell you, I remember that Derevinchenko fight, and I'll tell you right now, does Derevinchenko beat Canelo? Let's just be real. Derevinchenko will probably give Canelo a tough time. I don't know if he'd beat him. But I would say that I don't think Canelo walks through Derevinchenko. I'm being honest with you. And we saw what Jermall was able to do with Derevinchenko. Jermall's a big boy, man, like 6'1", 6'2", he's strong. We got to think about all that. Canelo's 5'7". Jermall can box. Jermall has power. He has IQ. Can fight the inside, outside. Got a good chin. So we just got to keep all that in perspective, man. You know what I'm saying? Activity matters. Ring IQ matters. Both of these guys bring a skill set into the ring that matters. But I just think that the activity piece is huge, but also we got to see the stamina because I think Canelo, if Charlo allows him to control the fight, Charlo's in trouble. But Charlo seems to have better stamina and a higher output. And if Charlo can sit on his punches and land hard enough shots to make Canelo think twice, let me tell you something. Jesus may just show up in the ring and guide Charlo to a win. But we'll see. Because, again, with that inactivity versus activity, the more active fighter you would think would be sharper. Ronnie Shields has his hand full trying to get Jermall, prepared for Canelo. And, again, the lack thereof activity and sparring and everything and the personal issues, I think that gives Canelo an advantage, man. But we're going to see. We're going to see. I don't know. But I think some people are just glad to see Charlo getting back in the ring. 2 years since he defended that WBC strap. People are frustrated, felt like he should have gave it up a long time ago, became a champion in recess, and then came back and challenged for his title. But I don't know. I think the Charlo jab, power in both hands, I think his patience, his ring IQ, I don't think that's gone anywhere. If anything, it would probably be the timing. I think the timing is something that would be a little bit off for Jermall, but he'd have to work all that out in the ring. And we're going to have to see because, remember, some people feel that maybe Charlo has somewhat of an advantage because Ronnie Shields had taken Lara into the ring with a prime Alvarez. And some people feel that Lara won that fight and should have won a split decision. But that's not what happened. Alvarez got the split decision. But I'll tell you this. inactivity or no activity, Jermall Charlo should be able to give Alvarez some issues. That jab, boxing ability. But I'm telling you right now, Canelo Alvarez is super slippery. And if he can continue to be super slippery the way we know that he has been, he should be able to get his way. Okay? And outside of 168 pounds, if he's able to get his way, I mean, what does he have? He has Spence. If Spence and Crawford can, Spence can get past Crawford. He got other guys on PBC. Andre could be the next opponent because I don't think he's going to want to just go right at killers like Benavidez and Morrell. We're going to see because I think Canelo's going to be smart. And again, I'm not going to call Jermall a cherry pick, but out of everyone at 160 to 168, Jermall is probably the biggest name, but probably seems to be the easier fight because he's been inactive. Then after that would probably be Andre for the same kind of reasons, big name and inactive. So that to me is he's trying to have two cherry picks. And I don't mean that as any disrespect to Jermall and Demetrius Andre, but that's really what this is. Now, if Canelo went first fight Morrell, second fight Benavidez, that's far from a cherry pick. That's Canelo, contemplating suicide. But we'll see what happens. Because at this point in time, I'm not sure we'll ever see Alvarez versus Benavidez because there's enough fighters between 160 and 168 for Canelo Alvarez to fight over there on PBC to where he never has to fight Benavidez. But that may be part of the catch, you know what I'm saying? But I do think as far as a massive fight, pay-per-view, etc., I think, the boxing purists and the casuals, they feel that Alvarez-Benavidez is the fight to make. But we'll see what happens, man. That being said, y'all keep cool. Jermall Charlo, he's shown before that he has what it takes to beat Canelo, but the inactivity to me could be an issue. And if he's going to beat Canelo, I just think he needs, to have Jesus involved in his preparations and for Jesus to enter that ring with him, just like Kanye West, if he wants to beat Canelo. That being said, y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans, all 7 continents. I'm in the breeze.